Hi everyone, it's Lillian here for a second Facebook Live this week. I'm coming to you, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. And I love sharing ideas and techniques with you. And I was working on a card class and I ended up with so many ideas, I just had to share a few of the extras with you. Well, I'm sharing one today. So let's go down to my desk and see what it's all about. So the class that I was working on is the Artfully Layered class. This is featuring a gorgeous bundle that's in the new mini catalog. So it is this here. Hi everyone, so glad you can join me at this late notice here. That's wonderful. The stamp set is this one here, and it is a beauty. It's got some distinctive, a distinctive stamp in it. It's got wonderful words, and I love the fonts. And then it's got these and this, and then coupled with it is this wonderful die set. Now, some of the dies cut out these images, but a lot of the dies are what you call complementary or standalone. Now I've shown you different things with this set before, and I just want to point out these little things. This one here, it's really stuck down, and this one here, they make little etchings. So they it's not really an embossing folder, but it can have a similar effect, and you can then make it kind of spotty, that kind of thing. So I really like that. And so we're not going to use the dies today though. So we're going to tuck them away. We're going to concentrate on the stamps. Here's again a picture of the dies, and you can see that little etching stuff there. And then we've even got the nice borders. So we'll put these to the side. And where do you find this? In the mini catalog. If you turn to page 32, it's part of a whole suite of projects. So there's a ton of samples, which I always love. And then here's the bundle, some ribbon. These I'm addicted to. I use them all the time. These are the little faux sea glass. This is coming. It's really neat vellum that's already printed. So it really creates fun stuff. And then this gorgeous designer paper as well. So if you want to see this a little more close up, just flip over the page and you can see it at life size there, and then there's a page number to go look at the dies in more detail as well as see another sample. Now, today, what we are doing is we are using not only just the stamp set, we are using just this stamp here and then one set of words. So then I'll show you some other samples. It's the technique that I want to share today. So let's bring in our paper first. So we're going to use all basic white. This is the thick basic white. That's what I like to use on my card bases. And this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So we'll just fold it in half right there and burnish that fold so it's nice and sharp, and then set that to the side. Then we also have a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4 for a layer. Again, we're going to set that to the side. We're going to do everything with this one here, and it's 3 3/4 by 5. Now you can tell that everything is just going to layer nicely. So the whole focus is going to be on the technique that we're doing. So let's bring this here, and we're going to use the Stamparatus. So let's bring that in. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Stamparatus, it's a positioning tool. So it's a tool that helps you get your stamps in just the right place. It has 2 of these arms. I'm only going to use one today, and it comes out so you can reposition that as well. But we're going to put that in and use it there. And it has this right here. I often have the sponge in here. You need this for the photopolymer or the clear stamps, I just leave it in all the time. And then I like to put a piece of grid paper in here, and this, you can buy grid paper that fits right in here. So what we're going to do is position our paper first. Now I want my cardstock to go landscape, and I like to have my cardstock in the Stamparatus away from the edges. I find I get a better impression. So I have a little pink dot here, and that's where I want to line it up. So I'm going to bring in this magnets. Now the magnets are exceptionally strong. So I actually wrapped duct tape around. I made a little handle, and I'm going to put one magnet here, and I always do them separately because these magnets are so strong. They can go smashing together very, very easily, and then they break. So trying to keep them apart, get my paper in the right position. There we go, right there, and right down here. Just catch the edge because I'm going to be stamping down here. The magnets don't get in the way at all, so that's the perfect part. Now the stamp that I'm going to use is this one here, and it's clean, so I'm going to just position it on my paper where I want it, and I think I like it right about there. Then I bring in my plate here, just rest it, and it picks up the stamp, and it's always going to go back in the same spot. And the magnets hold the paper in place, and we are set to go. Now I wanted 3 colors on this leaf. This is the part of the technique here. So I wanted 3 colors on this, and I wanted them to sort of work together. Now what I did was I started looking through my cardstock and starting pulling colors, and I just brought in scraps, and I ended up settling on Fresh Freesia, Rich Razzleberry, and Bashful Blue. I'm going to use these colors, and I do that a lot. I play with the cardstock until I end up with a color combo that I think is going to work. So let's bring in our ink. We've got Fresh Freesia. Let's see if we can get everything in the camera here. Fresh Freesia, Balmy Blue, make a little ink train, and Rich Razzleberry. Now I've shown you before about using sponge daubers and adding color to an image, a stamp, and then stamping, but this works exceptionally well. It's just a different way of doing it, and I learned this from another demonstrator named Anna Hellman. So I just love that Stampin' Up! Demonstrators do lots of sharing. I just want to make sure this is, oops, I made a mark there. Hopefully that will, I think it's from my hands. It is from my hands. All right, I like to start with my lightest color, and I am going to, this is a sponge dauber. You find these in the annual catalog. They come 5 to a package, and over the years I have built up, so I just have one for each color. But you can definitely use the package of 5 for all your colors because you can wash them out. They get stained, but once they're dry, you can use them again with a different color. So I'm going to bring in Fresh Freesia, and on here, I'm going to dab this in a few places. So I really don't have a plan, and you'll see why that doesn't really matter in a few minutes. So there's my Fresh Freesia. Now I'm going to bring this over, and I am going to stamp. So I'm pressing all over where my stamp is, and now I end up with something like that plus my splash. You know what? I am going to flip that over because I can see that that's going to be an issue. So let me just grab my little holders here and put everything in place. Remember, the wonderful thing about paper is that it has 2 sides, right? And I'm going to bring in my chamois. You like to use half a chamois because I don't have the biggest hands in the world, and I just find it easier. And let's start all over again. Fresh Freesia, and we will put some here and some here and some here and, oh, why not there? Sure. So now we will bring this over and stamp, and it looks kind of weird, and that's perfectly fine. That's the look we're going for. Now we're going to do the balmy blue and try to hit some of the spots that I didn't hit with the fresh freesia, but if I hit some that are the same, it's really not a problem. Now I'll bring that over and again stamp. So we're stamping in the same place. Ooh, look what's happening. Neat. Now we're bringing in the rich raspberry. Now I've been working from light to dark, but you'll see that when it's all over, you can go back and touch things up. And we'll do that. And you can play with so many colors doing this. And ooh, now I've got some white spots, so I'm just going to go back with, I think I'll take my rich raspberry. And now this is the tricky part because you have to think backwards, right? And we'll add some more in here and like that. And you can keep building up until you get a nice dark color. I am going now to go back to my fresh freesia and add some more in here. Now I don't mind this look, but if you want it darker, you can just keep building up your layers. And look at how rich that's getting. So I think I need a little bit here. So that is right here. Right, where did I say? Right there. Okay. And maybe bring in some of the blue. There we go. And I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I like maybe right there. I'm being a little fussy now. So that's that one up there. And like that. You can do this with any of your more solid stamps. So look at how gorgeous that is. Isn't that neat? Now I'm going to close up these ink pads right now. And all I'm going to do now is add some words. So I think that I will add the words thank you. And I'm just going to do it in black. This is a very simple card, but the variegated look just does it all. Now I could use my Stamparatus to do this, but I'm going to do it like that. Thank you. So we've got that done, and we're going to move this out of the way, and I like to fasten the magnets on the back right away. You can tell I've broken a magnet or two. So I take very good care of my magnets, and we'll move that out of the way and clean that with my chamois afterwards. Now we've got this, we'll move those out of the way too, and bring in our pieces. Now what you could do here is you could run it through with an embossing folder through the embossing machine, but I'm going to leave this one blank, but I am going to show you one that I did run through. So now we'll just make our layers, and you can see how quickly this comes together. So I'm going to fasten this on the piece of basic white that is just 1/4 of an inch bigger. And there we go. And now I'm going to put this layer on dimensionals. Like this. Sorry, I have been so immersed in having fun here. I haven't even been looking at the comments, but I love how that you're commenting to each other. So that is good. I'm glad you're taking care of each other. You know me, I have trouble reading comments and stamping at the same time. So I didn't need the dimensionals, but I chose to do, just for a little bit more interest, because it is such a very basic card. And now you can bring in some embellishments. I think I am going to use the iridescent rhinestones. They just seem to pick up whatever color is being used, and they are so pretty. You can tell that I've gone through a package or two. And should we put another one on? Oh yeah, right about here perhaps. So that's how quick and easy that card comes together. Just like that. Do you want to see some more? So here's one that I made earlier when I was practicing. I kept the colors a little lighter. I didn't keep building them. And this one, if you can see, I used the embossing folder. So I did all my stamping before I used the embossing folder. It's really hard to stamp once you've used the embossing folder. So these two are identical other than the embossing folder, and this has a little more vibrant ink. So then I had tried doing one with some greens, because it is a leaf after all, right? So this is just jade, mint macaron, and soft sea foam. And this is the card that I came up with this. Now, I didn't even put any words on here because I thought this card could work for several different things. Birthdays, thank yous, sympathy. It could also work for Easter because it's like a palm branch, right? Now, you might say, well, what's this in the background? The stamp set has some nice little script. And so in soft sea foam in the background, I stamped in the background and then embossed it and then kept this one plain. So there's just another variation there. And then I thought, oh, I want to try another color combination. I should warn you, this technique is rather addictive. It's so much fun. So I went with Magenta Madness, Flirty Flamingo, and Petal Pink, which, several years ago we would never have put those colors together, and now we have. So here is how that one turned out. So there's just so much you can do with this technique. So I hope that gives you some ideas, and definitely you can use a lot of different stamps, and I hope that you take pictures if you do this and share them with us. So just before we leave, I wanted to share, because I do have the class coming up. So it's called the Artfully Layered online class, and I'll put the link so that you can just click on it in the description of this video in a little bit. You can see that I spelled this incorrectly, but that is how the link is going to work. And so this class, you will make 6 cards. If you don't have the I will be using the Artfully Layered bundle, but if you don't have it, you could substitute, but you would need embossing powder. We're doing some embossing, and I will do the die cutting for you. So if you want a quick look at those cards, just before I do, how do they, if you get the card kits, they come, so everything for one kit comes in an envelope, and when you take everything out of the envelope, you've got all your pieces, your die cuts, all that kind of thing, and then the little itty-bitty things are in a little Ziploc or little bag so they don't get lost. So that's how my classes come. Each project is in its own envelope, and then it's all packaged together. And so these are the card designs that we will be doing. Just a little quick one here. So like that, like that, like that, like that, and that. And then this is a little pocket card. So if you're interested in that class, you have to register by Monday so that I can get the supplies and get it all set to go. So do let me know about that. And again, I'll put the link in the description. Sorry, can't even talk. The other thing I wanted to mention, if you do get the Artfully Layered bundle, you qualify for a $60 celebration item. So those are the ones you see the 60 here. So you spend $60, you can get one of these items. So that's just another heads up. So it's a kind of win-win class if you get everything. And last but not least, time is running out, so that an hour and 10 minutes from now is the cutoff time for registering for staycation. So if this is something you're interested in, make sure that you have registered and make sure you've told your friends as well. So it's so much fun. We can hardly wait to share our projects with you. So take care and have fun. And remember, share this video and if you're on YouTube, if you press that subscribe button and the thumbs up button, that is wonderful. It's a beautiful suite. You're right, Linda. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying these cards. I really like them. I was really appreciated Anna Hellman sharing this idea. So thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.